So it's December 1st and it's been a hot minute or two since we last did a video. I think the last video I did was New Year updates, so it's been a while. Obviously in that time we've done BattleBots. We went to LA and did BattleBots. I'll leave it at that. I'll do a separate video later on about what happened, because there's one hell of a tale there. So the other things that happened is that while we were at BattleBots, we were talking to a producer, and the producer said that the robots like Foxtrot and Predator, they look fantastic on TV, but they just don't do what they're supposed to, and was very, very keen on us doing something different. And so at that moment, I was working on a grab lift, probably a grab lift version of Foxhc, and we came to the conclusion that that was probably the right way to go, but less Fox. So yeah, we ended up with the new robot, which is currently here, getting it stripped down after Robot Ruckus, which is another thing I'll come back to. And so we ended up designing a brand new robot called, at the time it had a different name, I think it was called Hex initially, then it became Jinx, and then it became Slammo. So it was around about May time I started collecting parts for the new robot. That was drive motors, weapon motor, all the electronics for it, the gearboxes, 2 for drive, 1 on the weapon, and I had just ordered the laser cutting of the AR500 for the new robot when my cursory conversation with a company called Mowbot became something more substantial, and very quickly we went from having kind of little conversations here and there to having, let's start making a deal. And very quickly we ended up with a signature on a bit of paper, which meant that we had become a really truly sponsored team. And with that came in the deal, we proposed that we change the name of the team to Team Mowbot, and we put their Mo moniker on everything, which we're doing. So we have 2 new robots that we have entered into the next season of BattleBots 2020, which is Slammo and Whammo. This is Slammo. He's a suplexing slam bot. I'm going to do a video on both of these robots shortly, so don't worry too much. The other robot we're doing is Whammo. Whammo is Apex. It's an evolution of Apex 3, and it's the best evolution of Apex 3 we've had for a while. Brilliant drive system that Chris has been working on, which I have adopted into Slammo. That was entirely Chris's working, and the new weapon setup is pretty fucking awesome. We have a new bar which was designed with stress analysis. So we took a standard length bar and we used stress analysis to find where the weak points were, if we did this and if we did that, where the stress ended up. So we have a stress analysis designed bar. So hopefully that works. We'll find out, I guess, in a few weeks when he starts hitting things with it. So what else? Yeah, we got our new sponsor, we got 2 new robots, and BattleBots happened. We took Slammo down to Robot Ruckus in Orlando, and it had a fantastic outing, like absolutely fantastic. One of the best events that I've had in such a long time. Won 2 fights. Won the first fight by knockout, beating Ratfish, who Foxtrot caught fire against last year, and beat him by knockout. Also beat Crash and Burn, who beat Foxhc last year? Yeah, last year at Robo Games. So it was good to get some vengeance there. And we also fought Krusty Grab, which was from the Endgame guys. They got a really good hit and took out the lifter chain, which it took out the master link on the lifter chain, and I swear they couldn't have done that again if they tried. That was one hell of a shot, and yeah, we couldn't self-right, so they won that one. So we went 2-1. I'm so pleased with the way it went. It drives so well, the weapon system works really well. We have had some issues with the weapon system, not major issues, but major enough to require a change. The biggest issue was that the weapon drive gearbox was not 50-1. The 50-1 gearbox should be should have given me a 250-1 ratio, and when we measured it, or when I measured it recently, it was actually 36-1, which is not enough. Which meant that our final ratio was around about 170-1, which is not right. It's just not right. So I spent today opening up the bore on this sprocket and reducing it so that it will fit in the cavity. Also opening up the slot in the front of the robot so that that will fit, so we can get back to 250-1, which is going to be more than enough. The other thing we're doing is we're swapping over from a short mag to a long mag. We've got a bit of weight left, and yeah, that will give us what we need to do. So what it was doing before was it was lifting up a robot, but it was taking a lot to do it. In fact, in testing with Predator, you could get the lower arms underneath and lift, and that was fine. When you got the upper arms in to try and suplex it, it wouldn't do it. Or if it did it, it was really laboured and everything got real hot when it did, which means the ratio was wrong, which is where I figured out that there's probably something isn't quite right. So I counted all the gears and sprockets that we made in our side of the weapon setup. They were all correct, so it meant that the gearbox was incorrect. Stripped out the gearbox, and lo and behold, one of the ratios, which should have been about 4-1, 4.2-1, was actually 3-1, which is wrong. So yeah, and to fix that, we changed the ratio in the chain stage and got some even higher tensile steel chain, which is like nearly 5,000 pounds breaking strain, which is just phenomenal for a single strand. That's pretty incredible. So the next thing for us, what's going to happen to us next? Okay, so I went ahead and entered into Motorama, and I'm going to take a Sportsman, a 30-pound Sportsman version of Slammo called ShamWow, because that's what Earl from Balespear kept calling Slammo at Robot Ruckus, and I loved it. So I'm going to build a little version of that, and that's going to be fun. Hopefully that's going to work. I have literally everything except the steel for the arms, and I will get those made by OSHCut, who, if you haven't seen them, maybe I'll drop a link in the description, because they are absolutely fantastic. But yeah, definitely use them if you need one-offs and small pieces. Multiples will always get your cost down, so do that if you can. So there is Motorama in February, like mid-February time, and then hopefully, nothing has been confirmed yet, but hopefully BattleBots season 2020, season 5, season whatever from overall will be happening, and I cannot wait. So we have entered this guy, and we've entered Whammo. So we have Slammo and Whammo for next year. So hopefully they like them. So yeah, I'm going to do a video on both of them, do an introduction for each one of them, which will happen before probably February, because I've got stuff going on. But yeah. Yeah, so that's the latest update, I guess. We have 2 brand new heavyweights. We have kind of put the Foxbots on the shelf for now. The plan is to do something with them at some point, but not right now. I need to concentrate on building this guy and his spares, which includes spare chassis, because I want to be ready. And yeah, otherwise we're doing pretty good. It's been a long time. I'm also setting up a little filming area here with a light rig and a better camera and stuff, so hopefully that works out real nice. We'll see, right? I have a whole series of things I'd like to do, and so we'll see. right? We'll see. All right. Well, I'm gonna go because I don't know what else to